Hello everyone, welcome back to Express VTU for all. In this video, we are going to discuss a very important questions of physics. We will discuss module wise. So our first module is, from module first, our first question is use the time independent Schrödinger wave equation for the particle in an infinite to arrive at an expression for the eigenvalues and eigenfunctions. So this is the derivation we have to do. So for the Schrödinger wave equation, it is used to describe the wave nature of a particle. So some points are there. We need to remember to express this derivation. So our first point is consider a particle confined in 1D infinite potential well. And our second point is apply boundary condition where psi equal to 0 at walls. And third point is solve the differential equation which we get after applying psi equals to 0 at the wall. And we obtain quantized energy, eigenvalues and eigenfunctions. So now move to our second question, which is calculate the change in the de Broglie wavelength of an electron deaccelerated through a potential difference of 1 kilovolt from 5 kilovolt to the 4 kilovolt. So I already solved this question in my videos. You go and check it from there. So here the formula which we are using here, which is lambda equals to 12.27 under root V into A, and V is nothing but the potential difference which is given in this question. And how can we find the change in wavelength, which is lambda equals to lambda 2 minus lambda 1. So our 4 kilovolt is lambda 2 and 5 kilovolt is lambda 1. So through this value we can easily calculate the change in wavelength. Now move to a third question, which is calculate first three energy eigenvalues in one dimensional infinite well of width 1 nanometer. So how can we calculate this one? So with the help of formula, which is En equals to n square h square by Lm square, where L is nothing but the width of the given well and m is nothing but the mass of electron, and here n is the numbers of energy state which is given in this equation. Like first three energy means n equals to 1, 2 and 3. Now move to our second module. So from second module, our first question is explain the failures of the classical free electron theory of metals and the assumption of quantum free electron theory. So for this we have to classify sub points to explain this question in the examination. So our first point is classical free electron theory fails because cannot explain specific heat, cannot explain Hall effect properly, and wrong prediction of electrical properties. These are the failures of the classical free electrons. And what is the assumption of quantum free electron? So our first one is electron obey quantum mechanics, and second point is follow Fermi direct statics, and third one is energy levels are quantized, and last one is Pauli's exclusion principle applies. So these are the conditions which follow the quantum free electron theory assumptions. So you have to write it clearly and explain in a better way to get the full marks. Now move to our second question, which is derive an expression for the electron carrier concentration in an intrinsic semiconductor at temperature T in the low temperature limit. So I already solved this question in my video. You go and check it from there. Now let's take a recap of this question. So in an intrinsic semiconductor, number of electron equals to number of holes. It's depend on the temperature and band gap between the metal. Now with the help of this you will get the final expression which gives the electron concentration as a function of the temperature. So now move to our last question, which is a semiconductor sample 0.5 mm thick carries a current of 5 milliampere in a magnetic field at 0.2 Tesla. If the Hall voltage is 1 millivolt, determine the Hall coefficient. So this question is also solved in my videos. You go and check it from there. So for solving this problem, we are using one formula, which is RH equals to VHT by I into B. I is nothing but the current which is given in this question, and B is the magnetic field which is 0.2 Tesla. So with the help of this, we will calculate the Hall coefficient. Now move to our third module. So from third module, our first question is explain Josephson function with the diagram. What is flux quantization? Explain DC and AC Josephson effect. So first we understand what is Josephson effect, junction and effect. It is consist of two superconductors separated by a thin insulator. Copper pairs tunnels through barriers, and DC effect current flow without voltage, and AC effect current oscillate with applied voltage. And what is flux quantization here, which tells magnetic flux is discrete, means quantized. Now move to our second question, which is a superconducting wire of radius 0.25 mm carries a persistent current in a magnetic field of 0.05 Tesla. Calculate the critical current. So how can we calculate the critical current, which is nothing but IC equals to 2 pi R B by mu naught. B is nothing but the magnetic field which is given in this question, and IC is the critical current which we have to calculate, and R is the radius which is given in this question, which is 0.25 mm. So this is the way how to solve second question. Now move to our third question, which is what are phonons? Explain the role of phonons in copper pair formation. So first we understand what is the meaning of phonons. Phonons are the lattice vibrations it moving electron distorted lattice and creates attraction for another electron from the copper pair responsible for the superconductivity. This is nothing but the phons and copper pair. Now move to our last question, which is for a superconducting sample with critical temperature 7.2 Kelvin and critical field at 0 Kelvin is 6.5 into 10 to the power 4 ampere per meter. Find the critical field at 4 Kelvin. So in this case, we have to find the critical field. What is the formula to calculate it? Hc nothing but the critical field at 4 Kelvin, which is Hc equals to 0. It means critical field at 0 Kelvin equals to 1 minus T by Tc whole square. T is nothing but the temperature and Tc is nothing but the given temperature which is given in this question at 0 Kelvin. So I already solved this question in my video. You go and check it from there. Now move to our fourth module. So this is our fourth module. So our first question from fourth module is derive an expression for the numerical aperture and acceptance angle of an optical fiber with the help of a neat level diagram. So in this case, we have to draw a proper diagram. Along with this, we have to explain the term which we are using for derive this expression. So first we understand numerical aperture and acceptance angle. For optical fibers, works on a total internal reflection. It means light wave travel inside core and it accept angle define entry limit. Numerical aperture depend on reflective indexes of core and cladding. So this is the point we need to remember to derive this expression with the proper diagram. Now move to our second question, which is explain the principle and working of a single photon avalanche diode. So first we understand what is the meaning of single photon avalanche diode. It means it detects single photons which works in reverse bias. Photons create electron hole pair and avalanche and multiplication occurs produce detectable current. So this is nothing but the principle and working of single photon avalanche diode. Now move to our third question, which is a fiber has a core refractive index of 1.48 and a cladding index of 1.46. Calculate its numerical aperture and acceptance angle in air. So this is the most important question from module 4. I already solved in this my video. You go and check it from there. Let's understand which formula we are using here to solve this problem. For numerical aperture, which is equals to under root of n1 square minus n2 square. n1 is nothing but the refractive index of core, which is 1.48. and n2 is nothing but the refracting index of cladding, which is 1.46. Now take the under root and you will get the numerical aperture. And how we calculate the acceptance angle in air, which is calculated as theta a equals to sine inverse numerical aperture, which we get from this calculation. Now move to our fifth module. So from fifth module, our question first is define a qubit, explain the concept of superposition and represent it on a Bloch sphere. So first we understand qubit and superposition. A qubit is a quantum version of a bit. It can exist in both 0 and 1 simultaneously. That's why it is called as a superposition and it is represented on Bloch sphere. Now move to our second question, which is a quantum state is given by the psi equals to 1 by root 3 0 qubit plus root 2 by root 3 1 qubit. Calculate the probability of obtaining 1 qubit and the expectation value of sigma into sigma z. So this is also, I solved this problem in my video. You go and check it from there. You will get a good explanation along with the proper solution. Now move to a third question, which is a 2 qubit system is initially in the state of 0 0 1 0. It passes through a hand-barred gate on the first qubit followed by the C0 gate. Determine the final state vector. So this is also I solved in my videos. You can go and check it from there for the good and better explanation. So these are our important questions from module 1 to module 5. You should prepare these questions for your passing and more than passing package, and you should solve each and every problem from each module. From module 1 you should solve more than 2 problems to get the full marks. So thank you for watching our video. Please subscribe Express VTU for all.